Hi, welcome once more, and sorry for that breaking transmission. There was some issue where make we just go off. I don't understand exactly why. We're too like you always know, say whenever we're ready to come and talk about serious issues, this is sports. So can you imagine sports all? Then they fangy. But we not mix fangy business right now. We move as we go along. No fanging is allowed. So there's I've been saying to you earlier on, we were talking about the different kind of elements of voting they happen at Central African countries them in regards to why they perform extremely well so far for the last AFCON and this particular AFCON. So to me, I think say the amount of investment is also correct, but at the same time, when you look at some of the kind of thing the way they happen around, you will mention something for do with the involvement of other Central African players and we suppose for them they play for European countries like Portugal, Spain, or others. Can you come back and say of the stuff then the way for highlights earlier on, please?
Well, for me, what I see they happen in Central Africa is that identification. People don't identify themselves. Mind you, before this time, when the kids were born in Europe, they all want for playing in Europe because of stability. But now, because of the investment and dynamism way don't they take place, they all don't they identify themselves back inside the parent and come out. So that also don't give the Central African then that kind of advantage. And not only the advantage as well, but it also then they use players that now way be don't play for the European countries them, but still get a trace to them for go around and convince the younger boys say, look, don't say we make mistake, but it was the situation we find we said make we play for them countries and they so now on our way they come, we want to encourage them to go back home. And the willingness for accept them and create an environment when they come and feel at home as well, don't give them the advantage for make them get a stable ride in this particular competition as well, where we see so.
Right, there's talking about that. Let's go back to the South African team. South Africa possibly have about 7, 8, or 9, possibly 12 players on the squad that plays their professional football in Cape Town and in other clubs them surrounding Cape Town. What would you say about that?
Well, for me, I'm not surprised about that because, for one, if you look at Africa, one of the countries that we get stable league and good approach towards football, South Africa has been always there. The league has always been playing, and then get the biggest broadcasting and media in terms of sport, super sport, and then get them at the wall. And then they not only focus on the football itself, what we all focus on, but they not just focus on the elite, but then they do all the things that were involved in football. Then they do beach football, then they do that sand football. Then they do everything what revolves around football just for keep the youth them engaged and the talent them when they get. And again, because the league is stable, the boys do not believe again, say for go to Europe, they go bench. They go in a bench, they go struggle for let you get a playing spot. So I can day home, I get a playing spot, a very comfortable day. I they make money, I able get a car just like the guy in Europe they drive. And mind you, when season can done in Europe, you see the light of Manchester United and other big clubs in Europe suddenly run for go. Then they run for go South Africa for go play friendlies and they or for go get season camp play. So that alone don't this bring that kind of attraction we make the boys then know say it's safe for us here. We don't need for go. And the coach again, when he come this time around, he try for change the narrative. I can remember we have been one of the first teams that we invite for play Sierra Leone. Somebody they ask say why the interview and say why you invite Sierra Leone. He say, well, they look for play against the weaker side because we want for testing the new players and what we bring coming. And indeed, when he come, he scrap the whole team when he meets. He try for set up a new team. He build on the home-based players there. And he not go to Europe. He stay in South Africa. So he watch the league. He able assess the league. He able know the players and way they do very so not to get speak again. Say okay because he did Manchester City, even though you know they play for bring you coming. No, he's there. He follows everything that is happening, and they able for put a squad together. We represent South Africa in this manner, and I might not say they go beat Nigeria, but they will give Nigeria a good run for their money
We'll cancel that one because that is going to be the most interesting part of the discussion when we get to the semi-finals of the discussion. But anyway, I totally agree with you. COSAFA League is possibly one of the best league in Africa, and not just in Africa, but possibly all over the world. Because the COSAFA League, now league where they encourage possibly all the countries in that hemisphere they for participate on active football. And there is a huge investment being put into COSAFA League. And that investment, they not just to go for the boys, it also to go for the girls as well. And the girls are benefiting a lot from that. And for that particular reason, most of the South African female footballers are actually playing pro as well in South Africa. And then they give them enough facilities then for made able for play and made able for sustain a livelihood, which has been a very good thing for I will not say the Black South Africans per se specifically, but the South Africans who are struggling for survival are now moving in that direction for able to gain back their normality into succeeding in life. But I totally agree with you. South African League has been one of the best and still continues to be the best in Africa. And because of their investment in sports, they're able to participate possibly in the highest level. But I just feel bad, no more, so you mentioned, say, the new South African coach will then get, he choose Salon for be the first team for play friendlies with, because, say one for play to a rough side for test the players then. Which is not a bad thing.
But that's what he said in the interview, because he was asked in an interview, say, why you choose Sierra Leone? He said, well, I want for play, and we were all not happy that he used me as examples, he win at the weaker side, but he don't already check the calendar in Africa, and he see we stand, he see we performance. He said they go for a weaker side, and indeed, he get the result where he want. And he want build confidence will be not lacking now the team. And that's why he called we, and we get that result. Ever since we win that game against we, that team has been growing day after day, match by match, and up to side and find themselves today in the African Cup of Nations.
Well, I agree with you. But again, Morocco choose for play Sierra Leone, and Ivory Coast, the host nation, choose for play Sierra Leone within their last two friendlies before the tournament starts off, and then beat Sierra Leone woefully. Does that necessarily mean, yes, I said to myself, is morale boosting? I totally agree with you. Say, yes, the team will for go play, not for be that much of a competitive team. But remember, Mali played against Nigeria. No, Guinea played against Nigeria in a friendly, and Guinea beats Nigeria. So that's also give them the confidence where if they can beat Nigeria in a friendly, that means they can go far for the Nations Cup. So it helps on both sides. I don't know whether it is a good or bad thing for play a weaker side, or it's a good or bad thing for play a side that will give you a run for money when you're going into a major competition like this. What will you do in your own position as a coach? Will you
if you look at what we play, what Morocco and Ivory Coast do to we, this time when we play them matches here, so there were European leagues going on. And these were not FIFA sanctioned matches we played, because European leagues were going on, and getting European players and for especially for country like Salon, it was a huge problem. So you notice even back home, it brings a lot of questions, a lot of eyebrows. Say, is it the international team they go play or na home base? Back home,
I remember
say na home base they go play, and then in the international scene, the news was they are playing Lyon Star, which is the senior men's team. So for them we just look for a team for play, because by them they don't get any other nation for play. Mind you, Morocco for being play Angola before ever, and then for being play Namibia also, wouldn't for being play, but the country pull out, die in minutes, say they not go meet up. And then been definitely one for test inside. So for we Salon have been an opportunity for we, not to we pay anything. We not pay dying money for everything we go do, and then 2 matches. And then pay everything, responsible for everything. So it was an easy ride. And again, we go there for good test with players. Then the result being count, but we see some resemblance. Say, okay, if them boys here can get them kind of competitions, then yeah, so it can help them. But for me as a coach, I'm not to go play weaker side, say, because I want to motivate my team. No, I go to a match because I get a system where I don't build, and I want continuity in that system. That's what I'm going there for. So I'm not to go say because the side is a weaker team. No, if I want to motivate my boys, then I can put music, make them dance. I can do fun. Yeah, I can put music. I can throw a party for them. I can say if you score 10 goals, I motivate you with something, or you can even organize matches between themselves and put a trophy. But where you take them to an international competition, putting on your country color, you're not going there because the other side is weaker. You're going there because you get something as a game plan or game model where you don't put together. You want to see your team use them the tournament itself. That's why I was happy Guinea play Nigeria, because it tells you how ready they are.
Yeah.
And look at their performance.
Yeah.
Despite them come out, but they did very well. And the bigger ones, then we play country like Sierra Leone. Where are they? Morocco is back home. Ivory Coast, they managed for coming as a lucky loser at that squad, and it gets some kind of. Yesterday, I did tell my colleague Ali, say 10 minutes before they scored that goal, I see some kind of. I'm not going to say now witch or luck. I see some kind of voodoo or luck hangover Ivory Coast for make them qualify. Because looking at the struggle and everything, we just put the phone off me and in. Now he called me, said they don't score. That's what I tell you. And indeed they qualify. 10 men for beat Mali, 11 players. In that manner they did it. It's amazing. So I will not be surprised if I see them in the final.
Well, yes. To me, I will not be surprised. But what I want to make mention to the surprising aspect of them, in fact, see, Ivory Coast has been looked at like an underdog for this particular tournament, even though they are the host nation, but they've never been picked to win this tournament. But one thing way I always believe in sports, if you don't struggle from the back and you don't begin right slowly. So basically they have a very bad start of the tournament. They haven't even played well yet so far. They haven't played well at all, because even in game against Mali, with or without the red card, they had very few shots on target. And for the entire match, they did not actually war with the Malian goalkeeper at all. So to me, they haven't done anything extraordinary yet for making them deserve the position where they so if we talk about football capacity. But when it comes to other areas of support, yes, they have the country behind them. They have a new manager who is giving them all this fire. So as far as I'm concerned right now, the Ivory Coast team not get for play any spectacular football for get themselves to the final. By weeks, by works, by anyhow, they need to get themselves to the final. And that is exactly what happened from the 10 where they qualify for the last 16. You might think it's luck. You might think it's something that you possibly might say, okay, maybe something, this is not something we will begin to look at right now for like to see how we will change the momentum of how will they play. But it's got nothing to do with that. The manager will then get right now, just realize, say, I have to get this team to win regardless. There is no talisman player there. The only talisman player they were happy to see them be missing was Harley, when at the striker with against where they play in Holland. In introduction of him, and then with Silly, when at the midfielder we just get a second game for the entire tournament. So there has been few players that we don't bring come in, we don't create that huge difference in the team formation. So to me, they can play any sort of football right now, whether it's good or bad. All they're concerned about now for go to the final. If they lost at the final, at least they've tried. If they lost against who, maybe Nigeria or South Africa, they tried. But when it comes to what we are seeing right now for the Ivory Coast team, I don't think it's anything spectacular. Look, we just watch and see exactly what will be the outcome of their performance now against Cape Verde, and see whether they can actually beat Cape Verde, because Cape Verde has a very good defensive team. They can score goals as well, but they can be as rugged as Ivory Coast. Is Ivory Coast going to sit back and allow Cape Verde to beat them in the semifinals of the African Nations Cup at home? I don't think so. The referee yesterday did something miraculous. Again, it hurts the Malians, and then he paid them back with a penalty and a red card. So the element of voodoo in that particular match, Mali is a better side than Ivory Coast in that whole competition. from the qualifying stages to the quarterfinals to where they find themselves right now. They have performed more, way more than Ivory Coast. But the game is not about just the performance on and off the pitch. It's to deliver, it's the result. But we'll come back to now the way how the semi-final is being set up. South Africa has a huge amount of grudge to settle against Nigeria. And this has been a battle that has been going on for long. And we don't get William Oseme and few more other Nigerian stars than they perform very well in this competition. We possibly having been looked at in very different ways, but have performed extremely well to the best of their capacity. So what do you feel say would be the outcome of the Nigerian South African match before we come to the Ivory Coast one?
Well, like it will be an entertaining one. In terms of physical presence, Nigeria will win the show at the end of the day because if you look, Nigeria, the matches they don't play till they don't qualify so to the semi. That physical presence don't help them because Osimhen up front, you need two people there for always go up with them, and then you need the third standby player for do the quick reaction for sweep after when he win over then two then they. And if you look at Lukman as well, and he has been in top form and the space where he gets as well. And that stability, Nigeria don't get right from when they beat Ivory Coast. I mean, they tell somebody, say, if you look the pattern when they play against Ivory Coast, they make the field more bigger. So which means they play the ball closer to the church line than compared to what they use for playing at the middle. Because Nigeria in the days of Sunday Olusi, JJ Okocha, the ball always play in the middle because that's where you can get them thunderbolt shot the way then they take. Now when Miguel Rashidi and Kenny then play from the flank, they can send them cross there, they can come and finish with his head. But since they begin use them short midfielders then like JJ Okocha and few others then, and make sure say the ball play more at the middle. But if you look this pattern now, because of the height assuming you get up front, they don't also go back, play the ball more on the wing side, and then try to get crosses in, and then get follow up for finish. So it's going to be on the physical side, it's going to be a tough one for the South Africans. But in terms of the excitement, that flow of football, it get for them on the side of South Africa because, mind you, they are not 6 feet or 7 feet players. They're all day closer to the ground. And when you get closer to the ground, for let you lose that ball, it's not too easy. So you get more of possession from the South Africans. And mind you, like we said earlier on, these boys are home-based players. They're not getting nothing for loose. There's nothing on their shoulder where you say, oh, you go for take them away from them. No, they are going there for create the upset. And then go for give their best in their all. And again, when you look at them, the system of playing, and they play more at the midfield because they're short. And because they play more at the midfield, then they kick at any time they get the ball. So then they dribble more and take shots. While Nigeria now, they try to open the field and then get crosses, then come in and try to kill their opponent there. So it's going to be an exciting match. But it's a very difficult result for predict just by talking. I think the action itself, 90 minutes, will determine who wins that game at the end of the day. For me, if you ask me, I will not guess to put my money on Nigeria because of Victor Osimhen. No, it's football. Would I believe say yesterday the South African goalkeeper will come up as victorious by not only stopping those balls, but making a clear 100% save.
Okay,
no?
I want coming small on Victor Osimhen in your own talk specifically. Do you think about his performance in this particular tournament has been great? Because what's in Adeyemi from the Nigerian media is the fact that he's not being supplied properly because most of the people we suppose for the supply and the balls that we make it for the score headers and away for to get the ball inside the box on a regular basis are not actually on the squad. And there's been a huge concern about the Nigerian team that is supposed to be quota-based, as in certain amount of Muslims, certain amount of players from certain different states or from certain different tribes to become part of the team. Do you think that they help the team as well? Because then they get serious issue with the manager right now. We possibly go on for resign immediately after this AFCON. I mean, this guy for sign more into more contracts for take them to the next World Cup if possible. So what do you think has been the issue politically surrounding this Nigerian team, especially when we talk about Victor Osimhen right now and in performance for in club and the way how he don't perform for Nigeria? Because I watched him play, and to be honest to you, he's a dedicated 110% player. He's willing to do everything. He's running, he's chasing, he's creating space for people to come and score. Like you say, whether ball they up in the air, you need somebody with fast way in the head and for we were able for clear. When that's Luke Madon become successful in doing within the past couple of days, then we don't play alongside them. So this time around, instead of him scoring goals, he's not actually making goals for people to score. And most of the goals that we Nigeria don't score is not the last man with the supports them goals then. So what do you think about his play so far for the Nigerian team since he take over the number 9 jersey?
Well, you see, this is where we can get on wrong when we see them with players in our European teams. Mind you, the European teams, now money, they put blend of stars then together. And when then they go for buy, then they go for buy the best of the best. And when you get the best of the best, you put them together, they give you a combination where every player will play at that group day, will play at that team, they prosper. Whether you're an African or outside you come out, you must make, because they get people that way good. There's no thing that they do. But when you come to country level, it's not about, it's like about quality, and that quality they sometimes can be hindered by the footballing politics we get in Africa. It can be hindered by regional fight. Person can say, oh, then call all the players and from one state, they left the other one and from another state. Why that for the happen? And then it can also lead to interest of the FA people, them. The FAs, the one who run the FAs, them. Then say get the young boys, they wouldn't want. But then center and competitions, they also make them play because they believe, say, the whole world is watching. After the tournament, the one made itself left the country for go out. So this has always been a problem. But then that's why if you look at Nigeria and then coach, now Jose Mourinho part 2. He clearly don't tell Nigeria and say, look, whether you like it or not, I'm not going to this competition to concede goals. And that's why since the employer, he makes sure say he don't stay in Nigeria. He did it, they go watch the tournament there, they go watch the leagues then. He follow the know. So he know who side the players and the one they wait for bring them in. So that alone, the Nigerians they not like them. They're never used to that. They're used to a coach who can always come, he called bulk of professionals and assemble them, quickly go and go play. But this guy, he's there. So nobody dictates to him because he sees what is happening and he knows how the systems operate there. So it's a challenge on the FA, the administrative side. And it's also a challenge of the players that will be in the field seat, right? They don't get safe haven. For see, they don't go pull we come on at the team, we go there. So this has been a problem. But for me, Victor Osimhen in performance now, the Nigerian side, I will not say he's not performing as if like how he performed now Napoli. He's doing the same he does in Napoli. In Napoli, he doesn't just score the goals, but he also creates the opportunities for his team. And he not only create the opportunity, but he also defends as well. And he gives everything in him just the same way he gives for Nigeria. So whether the choice of players are not been there yet for feed him, but he has been feeding others. And mind you, in day one up front alone, like I said earlier, you don't put 3 players in your team for Maka. 3 players. And not to somebody go kick it for them. If he kick you, you are out of it. So he's still giving waiting he gets. It's just, for me, I think the wingers they only bring come now Nigeria, now them not the problem. Because then like for carry the ball on their own, instead of playing to the system where they get to, okay, we get Victor up, Tolasi, Islo send the ball for us. No, Denki want to do the job themselves. But happy, but in performance, and Nigerians then believe in him as well, because if you look at him, he's the one carrying the team as well. Because when they focus on him, the next phase where they happen for that, now the other one they not focus on for make them can finish. So this has always been so with South Africa. I'm sure it's going to be a big fight.
Okay, thank you very much on that. There's I know for say Victor has been performing very well, and I know saying performance go create a huge difference against South Africa. And by the way, I bumped into Odegbami just after the Nigerian game, and I was quite shocked for no for say is still alive, strong, and looking good as well. I know say you know that player, the former
Yeah.
Nigerians. So basically, these are the people that actually talked a lot about the Nigerian Football Federation, what they're supposed to do, what they're not supposed to do. They're actually analyzing the Nigerian FA right now, or the Nigerian football, because I think he owns a media house. So basically, he's also an accredited media person that goes and sits and talk about the game itself. So that's one good thing. Now let's go to the Ivory Coast game against Cape Verde. I know say Cape Verde has been performing well in these tournaments, and they've done possibly the most impossible for them to be at the semifinals of this particular competition. I know say the last AFCON they did well as well, but I don't know how can you make those two comparisons with where they are now? Do they deserve to be where they are? Yes, of course they do. But as their performance impressed you in any way, shape, or form, we would expect say yes, they can beat Ivory Coast, even though Ivory Coast are the host nation.
In terms of performance, yes, I will go see them go beat Ivory Coast. But also one thing we will not forget is that the younger teams, as I say earlier on, these are teams who not get nothing for lose. So because they not get nothing for lose, what do you expect them for do? Now for go play the very best and put pressure on the bigger teams then. So for example, Ivory Coast is hosting, and Cape Verde is going to go into that game as underdog, as we can say, because they say in the Ivory Coast they play home. But one thing we not going to take away from them, it's the fighting spirit, then togetherness. So then they bring surprises to bigger nations them as well. And one thing we don't change now the whole African football, the bigger teams then they spend more on the technical area, where then get to that they analyze, that they cut videos, that they put the pictures then together, make the players and see what they have. Now even the younger teams as well, now the younger nations, they are also investing huge in that area for know their opponent them. So it doesn't just happen now on the pitch, it happened after the pitch. So every action is being put together, analyzed properly, and the boys then see them, and then they rehearse everything, and then go to the pitch and play as well for make the win. So it's going to be a very tough one for Ivory Coast, looking at the team we will play against. For me, like I say, Ivory Coast, if they're lucky for win, then it means because of who side them come out. Because since they get a mega chance for coming as best loser, it's like favor don't they go their way. And the favor not the go their way because of the referee officiating, but also the commitment. Just look at that minute. The clock was already ticking. That guy just sent that ball home, and the Malians were nowhere to be seen. They could only be crying because they know they're already packing their bags to go home.
Do you think the Malians we are complacent with that particular match? Do you think they actually thought they were going to lose it?
No, I don't think I don't see them in them say they will lose the match. I did not see it in them. But what I saw was a Malian team which should say yes, they will win this particular match. But if you look what thing for happen, it's gonna be DR Congo playing Ivory Coast.
Yeah. Is it okay?
Yes. Not Cape Verde. DR Congo playing Ivory Coast. So it's gonna be a massive physical battle as well. There are two French speaking, they know themselves, equal side as well. So it's for one, we get for see entertainment. Of course, the music side, then get for dominate that one, they make the game fine for us. But it's gonna be a very tough one.
I make a huge mistake. It's DR Congo because
yes, DR Congo.
I want to come back to that because you mentioned music, and so far there's been a huge competition with the music elements of this particular match, even when I play it. Inside all the entertainment complex, then we sometimes they host the games, then we play the games then on our TV on our big screen. then they begin for compete now already. Which kind of music then they get for the play where Ivory Coast they can beat Congo. So it's going to be a very interesting match. But coming back to the Congo team, I think they've been very defensive. They not get any kind style of play where you look at, okay, this nine the pattern. The pattern we then get now 4-4-2 or this. I haven't seen actually any country we get a pattern of play right now. Apart from everybody plays at the wing and then we cross it into the box, but there is no 4-4-2 system where I don't see really work. Because
this is at the highest point of football you do. You are there to win. You're not there for go say, now me get the best style. No. You put the ball at the back of the net, you able to defend at 90 minutes, the final whistle, you are the winner at the end of the day. So, and it's all about discipline, the mindset, and it's all about sticking to the plan as well. So, if they're not able to stick to the plan against countries like Egypt, and then they've been in the final, so in this quarterfinal, so it tells you they not only win because then they defend, but also they score goals. So they not only defend, but they score goals. Despite they score against them, but they also score goals. So for me, what I will go for see that game, what we all go for see, I'm more of a physical battle. It's going to be a physical show because all two teams, I know they get physical-minded people then within the teams then. So for them, it's not about the pattern. It's about how can we win, how can we beat the opponent. So it's going to be a very exciting one. I will not rule them out for say they're not going to beat Ivory Coast, and I'm also not going to rule Ivory Coast. I would say luck will be on their side for make them qualify. But and again, one thing what they see on them, you get a musical star there. I see Kofi Olomide, instead they went and they play. So with all those people understand as well, it serves as motivation. It reminds the boys that we're not just playing for ourselves, but we're also playing for our stars. We don't make them wait for kind of support we as well. So it's going to be an exciting one. Very, very tough one for.
I am going to be part of that audience to watch the game and take spectacular pictures on that particular day that is going to happen on a Wednesday. So Wednesday is 5 p.m. kickoff in Abidjan, where now the main stadium is being paid, where now the stadium that you get for host the final. So definitely I will be there. And when I'm there, I will let you guys know that I am now on the pitch, supposed to be watching the semifinals of the AFCON 2023, Ivory Coast host nation against DR Congo. It is not going to be easy, like we just want to say, but I think it will be a spectacular match to watch, and it will be electrifying even more than the Ivory Coast Senegal and Ivory Coast Mali game. So basically, Ivory Coast has defeated two of their arch rivals in this tournament, Senegal and Mali. Congo is the third one. Do you think it's deliberate or the fixture not do them any favor for me and get them three greatest rivals? Yeah, so not just in football, but also in social life. Because Usai Ivory Coast play against Mali, so they have a huge amount of Malian community in that particular stadium day, or that particular place day. Now the place in name the for member. Okay. Let's remember the stadium name. Not Ufebwani, not Bimpe, not Yamasukuru. I remember this stadium name. Because that particular tongue they then get a huge, when I say huge amounts of Malians. Now they live in that particular area there. And na area we then the Sky Hotel, the Ivorian they really they say, oh no worry, we don't need for go no side any side anymore. Because guess what? You guys are home already. So that has been a huge amount of conflict between these people. And the first not get for done day, it get for continue. And when the first get for continue, now first way I feel say could possibly end up not with a physical battle, Bouaké.
Oh,
Bouaké
okay.
is one of the cities in Abidjan in Ivory Coast, where they say possibly the entire Bouaké is dominated by Malians. So it was not a bad thing that they were playing at Bouaké. So after the game, they don't need for go no anymore. They just need for going out the backyard and then they go out and then they go to bed and sleep. But this time around, Congo is coming all the way to Abidjan. And you feel
but again, if you look at teams and the record with it between them not a huge one. When if you look, yes, the record with it between them not a huge one. DR Congo don't win 3 direct matches them against Ivory Coast, and Ivory Coast don't win 4 matches. And the last one we then play end up in draw. We give them an average match for both teams and get 3.6 goals per match. We look at the goals that they don't score against themselves. So most of the games they don't play, we get to do with draw. This win 4 something, and then this win 2, then draw again. So it's not going to be an easy battle because all the matches they don't play, then play win and draw 0-0, and Ivory Coast win 3-1, and then draw 2-2, and then you get Ivory Coast will win 3-1, and then you get DR Congo will win 4-3 against Ivory Coast. So it tells you this was in October when they play with DR Congo being for win by 4 goals to 3. So they are equal side anyway. Like I said,
I personally think for Lekiyebu for beats Ivory Coast right now, you get forget them past 2-0. Because not just so say then gets the nation behind them, but it will be a very difficult call side for just beat one of them if they say the game is over. Because they don't prove until we say they need to be beaten, just like how Equatorial Guinea give them 4-0. They collapsed on the pitch because they couldn't do anything or make any kind of change or create a difference in that particular match. Because when they score on a 1-0, they still defeat for equalize. They will put you under pressure. And you will get into the pressure and then you make that small mistake. Look, don't forget, say this is football. And everything is at stake. Money is at stake. Reputation is at stake. The nation is at stake. The competition holders, everything is at stake. Now, like we go where I watch AFCON, and you get forget Nigeria playing against the host nation, Morocco, in the semi-final of the AFCON, hosted in Morocco. You think say Morocco will lose that match? By any means necessary, they will make sure that they don't lose that match. And the way how the match will go, Nigeria get forced to get card, and I started to predict it straight away. Nigeria is going to have a second red card, and then get for lost the game by 1 goal. Just like how I say, they equalize with 10 men. What team Morocco need for getting on for puts Nigeria under serious pressure for me and gets penalty, and that is exactly what happened. Before then they concede the penalty, second red card. So Nigeria end up for play with 9 players on the pitch. And then they get 10-15 minutes for goal. Morocco win the game. So if you play against Cameroon right now, it is not going to be a rogue match, but you will be under serious pressure if you are winning against Cameroon 1-0 at home at the 11th hour. Cameroon, they put all the pressure on you. So you really get for beat Cameroon and beat them properly for making you able to secure a clear-cut win for me to go out of the tournament of Saudi right now. So there's let they come begin for round up, but not forget I get for come to that me issue of me
human story.
The human story. I don't pull up the comments them since I highlight say I get for read the comments them on that particular story. I don't receive over 85 comments so far. And definitely I'm not going for read all the 85 comments. But before I go to the comments then, let's talk about the prediction now on possibly who is going to win this AFCON. I know say last week I did a show and I get 2 young fine men and we predict say Nigeria will win the AFCON. And I talk say if Nigeria win the AFCON, I buy a replica t-shirt of the Nigeria jersey and I will hand them over when I return back to the UK. Arun Pape is one of that individual, and you don't remind me. And the other individual back in your name day, I will come back to the one next time. But definitely, I have you in mind. I nearly forget. So I know say if Nigeria win, then of course you will get your replica Nigerian t-shirts or Nigerian vest we at the comeback from Abidjan. Already, I don't get two of the Ivory Coast replica vests. I know I'm for be biased right now, and I make any way none because I'm only really just but you don't pick side and I make you don't go begin support Ivory Coast. I don't want to do that, but I will make sure say I use that day for the first football show where I do where I return back to the UK for sure. Say I was in Abidjan and I cover X, Y, Z, 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 Z. So Desmond, what thing would be you take on who do you think with the two, I mean with the four teams they would all left? Who do you think will win this?
Pound by pound, I'll see Nigeria in the final. I'll see Nigeria in the final, and I'll see probably when I look at the statistics given, and I will go for DR Congo, because one, they draw 3 matches then before they can beat Guinea in a 90-minute contest. So that alone don't tell you say it's a defensive-minded team. And
well,
because
I said
of
the
that,
other one.
yes, and because of that defensive mind, we then get if they get a goal here and that they're able to defend well, put pressure on the counter attack against Ivory Coast, they will definitely become victorious. But the luck we come Ivory Coast in within 2 matches they wouldn't play, probably feels it that luck they get for the on their side again. But it's football. So for me, I'll go say DR Congo will be in the final, and then Nigeria will be in the final as well.
Okay, that's interesting. So DR Congo and Nigeria
And
in the
Nigeria.
right. And so when I don't talk saying that South Africa will win the trophy. But this is very interesting. For like that's what you talk say they expect Nigeria and DR Congo, not South Africa and DR Congo. Not South Africa or Ivory Coast. But anyway, before we finish the first 16 of the tournament, I said it specifically, if Ivory Coast make their way out of the last 16, then definitely they will be playing the finals with Nigeria. Because watching the tournament so far, Nigeria not only a spectacular team, but they've been consistent. And that consistency, they don't follow throughout their performance to where they are right now. Although they were not single-handedly picked to become the winners for this tournament, but I think they don't create the impact for themselves, where now they are possibly the favorites to win this tournament. So Abidjan Olegerito can say it will be a Nigeria and Ivory Coast final, which is what everybody is expecting. But again, that is football, like you clearly said. It might be a total different ball game as we don't see so many upsets that will not happen over the past couple of weeks of this particular tournament. And we expect more for happen because we don't know what's going to be the outcome between Nigeria and South Africa, and we will still wait for see what will be the outcome for Ivory Coast and DR Congo. But we have a 3 days break in between. Yes, do you think this 3 days break is really realistic? Because there is no match today, which is Sunday, no match tomorrow, Monday, no match again Tuesday. The matches are going to take place on Wednesday. So what you would expect, say, as a manager, your team for be focused on right now within the next 3 days of no football at all? What thing would be your mindset?
Well, I think lot of rest, lot of rehearsal, no much long training anymore. It's more about the technical and the tactical side, and therefore begin to look at more video analysis, go therefore begin taking place as well. So then therefore look at pound to pound, wing to wing, mistakes that they don't make in them previous matches. And again, I think the 3 days break would give all the teams and it's good, because if you look the humidity when they play under, it's really, really hot. It's really hot, and I do believe it has been tough for the players. So it also give all the teams for make them really, really look at the players that we don't get minor knocks them, for treat them properly, make them get their body ready for the semi-final. But I tell you, in order for be more of them, say we just the start, we need for go get everybody at 100%. This is now getting everybody at 100% the technical and tactical area. You get to see more small-sided games then, and then games they also go be trained purely in front of goals. More goal scoring opportunity, crosses from the flank. I think this is what all the coaches will focusing their attention now on in the training session. And mind you, why that will be possible, because if you go put a 50-50 now training, what will happen? A player gets a knock where you did that in the semi-final, then that player is out of the tournament. Because just after the semi-final, you have the final. So you rather get that player who go get injured in the semi-final and then win the game than injured in the practice, and then you lose the game, say that player therefore don't make a difference. So you get for be light something, but the intense get for be on the finishing, the defend, and the mindset approach as well.
All right, thank you very much, Des. If me not be manager, I allow the player they all for check first instead one day. Look at them wind themselves down and get all the loose ends and peaks, and then sleep for the whole of tomorrow, and then gap now for it. This one, you know, so person don't check. Wait, if play ball the next day, now the most dangerous player on the pitch. Femi can testify that because you don't play against Boku Chakman as a striker. If no one is coming.
Then at comic level. But at this level, we'll go for check.
Yes, I'm talking about serious level. Gasconi been a booze heavily before you go on the pitch. Then a one. Then Femi the most favorable striker. When the Irish god of football was a drunkard footballer, and he was a perfect player on the pitch. By the way, let me bring back Femi to this competition. Let Femi can give you views and suggestions about the AFCON since the beginning and where we are right now before we come to range over comments. Desmond, I come back to you on those particular elements of saying, yes, we don't think he can play perfect football. But to me, for now, I think the teams, they need for wind down, like you clearly say, yes. Less practice, yes, but at the same time, therefore begin focus on the penalty shootout, because again, you never know what is going to happen, especially for Ivory Coast, because what you make at say so, DR Congo don't get a lot of draws them, and some of them see the way they win. Now on penalties, they don't come off until they was an so not an out and out win at all. So we have to be very mindful with the fact, say, teams need to be practicing their free kicks, their set pieces right now, and also look at their penalty shooters. So if we begin to identify now, who are for your first five, your second five, or your options that you have on the pitch of play. So I totally agree with you on that. Technical aspects of the game is very much important. Video footages of players that are of traits, mistakes, or errors that have been made in previous games should be highlighted and worked on. Over to you, Femi. Say welcome to viewers and tell them about your own opinion of the AFCON so far. But not tell me about that player, maybe they play against you, maybe they check na money, maybe they go strike against you, they punch you, now you believe they talk, say, Femi, what's up, man? Get up and go. This is football. Over to you.
Hello. I hope so not hear me loud and clear.
Loud and clear.
Not hear me loud and clear. All right.
Sure.
So, T-boy, I don't know about this drunk business where you can go play football. Football and drink not get that. But T-boy na man when play Sunday league football. And I know say Sunday na the day after Saturday. So man them go check and then can play football. So kind of T-boy kind of right, but not in the professional game. In Sunday league we did play against, we did German, so alcohol 90 come up and I remember those days. But in professional football, yes, you had a few back in the days, but now football don't change. Now most of the footballers them are very disciplined in how they conduct themselves on and off the pitch. But I mean, for me, it's been the whole tournament has been an advert really for Africa, I think say we as Africans we put on a good display, a better display than we've done in the past throughout the whole tournament. We see stadium them get thousands of people them inside. So I think say some of the federations them flying people them. Obviously Ivory Coast gets border with some big countries them way then supporters them then turn up. The Ivorians themselves turn up and see what you write. So you know always want for make the host team leave early because that can always be problem for the game. But as I mentioned earlier on, I think say some of the younger teams, if I can call the younger teams, the underdogs as then they call them, can surprise a lot of these. Some of them players who were very sporty, very athletic, and then ready for run throughout, and then give a lot of the big guns them a run for their money. I wonder really and truly what to happen. We don't see this huge change, but I think I give FIFA a big props for some of this. I'm not thinking that they get all the the praise, but I think they get some. Back in the days, if you don't begin represent one country, you never represent other country. Like if na 1 or 2 game no more, you will not play for them. So you get a lot of player them we sometimes born in England or men in England or country then in Europe or in America, and because they don't represent some of them country and they sometimes 1 or 2 term when they're in their late teens or early 20s, they're not allowed for going anywhere else, and then country carry on for pick them. But now the rules don't change. Say you can choose depending on how many games you don't play for that country, that you can still get access for go play for you, either you papa, you mama, then country or you country of birth, if you don't make them not the first choice we get. So I think say a lot of the younger players there, so instead of them just sit down do it for England for call them in England, so they don't get a 1 or 2 cap and don't tie them down and enable again, they end up go play. Okay, if you look, Zaha not play this tournament, I not think, but Zaha is an Ivorian, I believe. Yeah.
Yes.
And he played for England. He played for England for schoolboys. Then he played for England international as well as a grown man, but he not play enough games them for tying down to England totally. So he was able to be freed up for go play for in parental country. So I think Sedentin and they give some of the African countries them the ability for pick stronger teams, players that will be in country and players that will play abroad. Yes, Tiboy.
Just pick one more. The Mauritanian goalkeeper was born in Senegal and then he played for Senegal under 17, but unfortunately Mauritania called him up for the bigger side, where he go now for represent Mauritania. He's very awkward and he started off as a defensive midfielder. So I totally agree with you on that. But just carry on. I just want to highlight number say within Africa now it happen. No, so just play.
Even the boy we score for Mali against Ivory Coast as well.
Right.
He also now in Papa or Mama I think come on Ivory Coast. And he still go there for holiday. So as a result of that, he score not good for celebrate the goal.
Oh, yes, I
so
think
that change of nationality, it's very common now in African football.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. I think say he was actually born in Ivory Coast. So he was born in Ivory Coast, but in parents and both parents come on Mali now. I think they settled in Ivory Coast for a while. We make
well, now the third and they say what's in they all the Malians and
so yeah, but that's what I was saying. So we got to give FIFA congratulations for that, because things like that and the help grow the football na the continent. We're not just to export all we resources them, including with human resources them, we football at them and not get anything in return. So if for England, 11 man no more get for play. For Holland, 11 man no more get for play. For France, 11 man no more get for play. And if you remember, a few years back, I don't remember whose World Cup, Senegal was represented by majority of them being born, bred na France. and
Yes,
they went back home. The
yeah,
Dioufs of this
yeah,
this
yeah.
world, they went back home. They played for Senegal. They had a wonderful tournament, and after that, they were bought by bigger clubs, including Liverpool. We buy a few of them. So for me, it's a good tournament. I like for see the underdogs then prevail, but I don't think so. We'll call them underdogs after this year. I think say the then give the Arab man they run for their money. I think they were some of the game they were watch. They were a little bit more physically fit, stronger than the Egyptians in particular. I don't know what happened to them, but they didn't turn up. Ghana didn't turn up as well. But Guinea was a big surprise. Cape Verde was a big surprise. Mali, but Mali's been a tough competitor for years now. I think say 20, 30 years ago they really struggled, but for the last few years, Mali has been one of the top African nations. But I think say Morocco has possibly been one of the better African countries. I think say if I remember right now, not to South Africa, no more don't beat them in the last almost games, but they didn't
Yes,
turn up. They
yes,
didn't turn up today,
yes.
or they didn't turn up this tournament either. So football na biscuits, I think you see.
Well, I agree with you. Football have biscuits, but now football, you know, side you did better for make a book. That biscuit is my football or not, because again, I totally agree with you on the formation of FIFA, changing the rules or relaxing the rules a little bit. But I think I think there's a cap. For don't play 5 international at the top level for any country for making able for drop kind of for play for the country of your choice anymore. But the reason we make happy to say that it becomes a very common thing now because they realize most players have been capped for one game and then they lost the international duties for that particular country day and possibly unable for play again for their country of origin of their parent if they choose for. I think that is why I think FIFA realized okay, some players they use them deliberately just for block the international career, not for play for any other country. Then they cap on once or twice. They've done that to few Sierra Leone players anyway. Now the England side, we would expect suppose for the play for Sierra Leone, but they've been given the option to play for England maybe once and twice, and that's it. But it's a good thing that also the continents in South Africa don't begin to adapt to that same kind of issue there, because it will also help people that we get cross background inside Ivory Coast specifically. There's a huge amount of Senegalese, Malian, and Guinean community, and yes, they have all their kids in all the Ivorian academies in Ivory Coast, but at the same time, you get for also say they are of different parental backgrounds. So you have to be very mindful, because in Africa, it's going to be like a spiteful game wherein if they begin to suspect, say, your background is XYZ and you're not willing to play for Ivory Coast as a national player, they might possibly hinder your progress to become a professional footballer, meaning you might not be representing them. So therefore know exactly how Danny for play in your parts in the African games itself. So therefore be very mindful.
But this has to do with investments as well.
I agree.
For example, like what Samuel Eto'o don't begin to. Now, most of the European picking them, they catch them at younger age, 17, 20. They bring them, come and make them play in tournament then they. Because this is how you usher them in. And then again, the facilities as well. If they are coming in, then season, then they practice now ground them with the ball, not even roll properly. Place in the sleep, not good. Food in the eat, not there. And transportation, it's a problem. For we Salon, we get a problem now. We probably Alex, who they play for Middlesbrough, might not come play for Salon anymore. Waiting to, because one of the stories that we find out, say they left an airport for very close to like 3 to 4 hours, and then they get for reach now hotel. They tell you for take a nap, then go wake them again, see them for transfer another hotel. So with all those things, it's like it's too much. I rather go play for a nation we well structured, plan properly, and somebody picks you on time, you eat on time, you get everything you want, training facilities are being available. And this is what the other nations are doing. We make them players and willing for camp,
I agree with you, Desmond, but let's take an example for Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and few more Arab states than with the Arab region. What they have done is set up an academy with an academy of kids Yeah, then they pull them all over Africa, all over the world, Brazil, West Africa, North Africa, South Africa, East Africa, everywhere at the age of 5 to 8. These are all kids who can play football, potential football players. And then they bring them all come into Qatar or Saudi. Yeah. Then they bring them come and set up an academy where now Premiership best players who have played in the Premiership. Then they run their institutions, then the sports academies, football academies. So basically, it's like a football village. And then they go more and picking the also for become Arabs. Yep, black Arabs per se. So if you don't do it at 5, now Arabic you talk, now then culture no more is happy. Now all team what is happy. Now look how many black players are actually playing for Qatar. And they are all of African descent. Look how many black players are actually playing for Saudi Arabia. They are all of African descent. And the system where they don't set up, so now system we don't exist for the past 15 years. The manager and player and coach, we don't deal with them. They don't take them from that under 17, say to the level at which they did so right now where they represent Qatar. And I'm not going to say for global football, but the Arab League is being dominated by them. Because they have all these influential players that are coming from all these African background or Brazilian. But can you imagine a Brazilian playing for Qatar with a Brazilian name?
It's possible.
So, exactly.
Money,
so these are some of the
money does everything. Money does everything.
So we should be very scary about that sort of concept of what football is actually bringing to the outside world. So if we just say, yes, comfort is a very much important, for say, yes, outside comfort, now they are the go play. Don't also forget, say, your loyalty relies to where your roots are from. Again, the last World Cup, we actually did a show, and that show will do now for cover the fact, say, we look at how many black players are representing European countries that are not supposed to be representing them just because something for marital purposes, they're married to a European woman there, or something and converted or naturalized as Europeans, and then they end up for play for those European countries. But we will not say then get some backlash from the country of origin where they come up from. Femi, I know you want to say something because you look like you're anxious for responsibility too, because this has been one of our bitter conversations over the past couple of years about identity and representation. Over to you.
No, I don't want to say nothing. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so once you talk about identity and USA, you know, allegiance belong. If you think about Nigeria, we been talk about earlier on, then get a midfield player, an attacking midfield player, where they playing at the Premiership. Don't play at several clubs in the Premiership. I think his name Alex Iwobi.
Yeah.
It's rumored that he is the nephew of JJ Okocha, and it is rumored saying that Nigeria born, but he came England at a young age. But when I think Okocha kind of sponsored or mentored him, and apparently Okocha tell and see for on no account, if for Sidon for wait for England call up, he should play for Nigeria. So so something and we have adults and get for possibly take the responsibility in I'm not saying making decisions for player them, but for help guide them, because as you say, we belong get Boku player them with Sidom, and they could have had an international career. Win for benefit them and for benefit some of we can't see them, but they didn't. They sat waiting for a call up for, let's say, England, for example, or something. England called them for 1 or 2 games and never used them ever since. And they wasted the international careers them away. So something, and they I don't want to say adults, but people them we influential people them within as some of the young man there to their life, possibly for the take responsibility in helping them make certain decisions.
Thank you very much, Andy, for that. Like I go to Ansumana in comments, and Ansumana say he might not know much about football like the way we do, but the way I don't see the South Africa team, they're more composed, and he believes they will win this Nations Cup. So yes, if they win, and Somalia, I don't put in at the list. I don't like your comments, so I'm not gonna forget. I will get your South Africa replica vest. So that's I don't notify you on that. It's not worry number. You're fine, safe, and secure. So now I have two people that are waiting for their replica jersey just after the end of the last kickoff. But yes, now let's go back to our human story before we enter this program. Few days ago, I was traveling from my hotel to the media center in Abidjan for make I go able for get myself ready for the Nigeria match against Angola. On our way, the roads were blocked. There was serious traffic, and on we way coming closer to the traffic, I realized, say, no, not to this motor car really make we get this traffic. Oh. And while this motor we park na the side road, na a Range Rover. A Range Rover, brand new, and we just see then they put 5-gallon fuel inside the Range Rover. And I was shocked, like, no, this is not possible. Range Rover? For say fuel done by Range Rover? This must be somebody else's carelessness. It's either the driver or the person we get in motor car. And again, how comes you go own a Range Rover, but you're not able for fuel? So I throw those pictures online and then I ask people to comment. And so far, I don't get 85 comments, which is amazing because Avalanche request, well, I don't actually request for comment yet, but I did it specifically for this one. And I also highlight, say, I will possibly talk about some of the comments them, but I really expect I need to get up to this amount of comment because I really intend for read all the comments them. But right now, I'm not able to read all the comment them, but I go select the first 15 maybe. But before I do that, if the short, maybe I will go more. There's one. What's your take on this particular real human life story of somebody who own a Range Rover and he possibly able for fuel am, he park am on the side road, he decide to go buy petrol na fuel inside 5-gallon for one for car put am na the Range Rover. Like
Well, for me, it has to do with development, community development as well. For example, let's say one take into mind the distance when they travel. If there are no fuel station along that highway, and you notice say fuel door left, I just get for manage for push the car till say for stop. And we see for the fact that you see for the fact that
inside the city.
Yeah, but for the fact that you see he go by with a gallon, now gallon you see then the filler with, then it tells you say something good waiting happen there. Maybe again, now somebody will just say that take the motor car go return, and then he go meet up this kind of bad luck, say the motor car empty. It could be negligent, it could be say, okay, now somebody need to check in fuel and maybe he's not the owner of the car, not just a driver no more, and with machines and so many things that can happen. For me, that na my own area I will think of.
All right, I go take down the, but my own opinion the. But anyway, let's go to the first comments. We come up from Mams JF Coley. Range Rover is not a child's play. I have this exact kind of range and I know how it swallows petrol. However, it could be the petrol indicator had issues and it fails, which can be very misleading. And Paul Goodside Conte said, I think both of them, firstly, the owner and then the driver, because he's supposed to check and inform the owner about the car, and the owner also supposed to be checking the car. That's my thoughts. And then Emil Young Equary say, the owner of the car is responsible. Alexandra say, Oga, everybody is managing. I can't count how many times my car stopped me on the road because of fuel. Everything is in calculation now.
So you see?
Then Onomi said the owner, and Shadrach said, he said you no see as fear the cost. Then Mario said, both of them, especially the driver, And again, some people are actually commenting on someone else's comments, so that I won't be able to read. Zainab said the driver, and Sylvester Bosse said, ha 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 ha. I just laughed because again, it's very ironic. And Pape Kindo said, if the driver might be the owner, and then Almami said the owner, Kai said owner, ZZ said Ghana or Nigeria, because he was trying to know whether this happens in Ghana or Nigeria. By the way, is in Ivory Coast, Abidjan, to be precise. And then Alex said maybe it didn't run out of fuel, but adding additional fuel to an impending trip. That's interesting. And then ITZ Paul said the owner, the driver. Sherry Berry said blame the driver. And Oliver said the driver. Baba Kroma said the driver to be blamed. MC said they can go take woman with an able for feed. Then ITZ said the driver. And then Golo said, let us blame the road. The road might be a cause. The road might be the cause of it. I don't understand how. Blame both the reckless driver and the careless owner. And the person laughed. And that was Juma. Driver again from Michael and Sobiman and Abdullah Saksako. Robino, the comedian, is responsible. How? Then Alassane Ibrahim said traffic, driver. So I will read maybe a few more comments and then we'll stop there. I might continue with those comments because it's very interesting to be able to highlight some of the things that people are saying in regards to this particular human story. Ibrahim said, if catch signal to the driver and the driver did not tell the owner and the owner did not buy the fuel, both of them, especially the owner, is responsible. And then Itishi said, in Benin Republic, it's common sights to buy fuel from roadside vendors. In fact, they are the major dealers of fuel over there. That is in Benin, that's different. The owner to be blamed, that says Mohammed. And I will read two more. As for me, I will blame the driver because the driver has the right to tell the owner that we are running out of fuel to my own experience, which is true. And then this person says the government. I don't know how. I can leave that one there for now. And sorry, guys, I won't be able to read all the comments. I was not expecting 85 comments so far, and the comments keep coming every other minute. But I will respond to them in the other shows that we might be having within the next couple of days. As I clearly said, we are now coming to the end of the AFCON, and we are now faced with the semifinals, which means few more days to go before we get to the final. So Des, what will be your final message? I want to say thank you very much today for coming, but what will be your final message to our viewers and your expectation of the tournament as a whole? I will get you back here likely for the final because I might go live at the stadium, put the camera on me. I know my production team are not going to be happy with this because at the end of the day, I'm going to put them under serious pressure for copyrights and other issues that might prop up on the day of the live final between whoever is going to be the finalist. But again, I'll put a camera on me and I will be able to run a commentary about the game. And I know possibly I might have you alongside watching as well on your own big screen at home. So what will be your take about the tournament and what message you want to send to people who are watching and specifically to Syrian football, as we've now seen the development of other countries that were alongside us 10, 15 years ago, and see how vastly they have improved in their capacity to host or to participate in tournaments like this?
I do believe it's been a wonderful tournament, and thanks for always thinking of bringing me in your show as well. Like you said, it's a process of learning. We do have a lot of Sierra Leonean journalists who are there. Some of them made their way privately there as well, but I do believe in tournament like this is also where our FA should be thinking of sending especially their technical team to go engage other technical counterpart there, see what can be learned and see what can be applied after the whole tournament. But overall, it's been a wonderful tournament for Africa, and I know the African game is growing. I know going forward, we're going to see more exciting African Cup of Nations and going around Africa, and also the development of infrastructures as well has actually shown from what we are seeing the performance of the team as well. Teams that have actually spent their money, like Mauritania, what you're talking about. A couple of years ago, they were nowhere to be seen in football, but they started from the under 15 category. They kept boys in the camp, they trained them, they put them in an academy, provide them all the basic. And today, most of these boys are now playing for Mauritania in the AFCON. And hopefully, after this AFCON, a lot of them will be going abroad to play for bigger teams as well. So it's an approach that works, but the money needs to be spent, and the approach needs to be one that is inclusive. Not where you think to go sell player. You want that actually focus on developing the players and having the concept that the first option is for them to represent the country, and not the first option being you want Manchester or Arsenal to come and buy them. So I think we have a long way to go, Sierra Leone. We've not been able to qualify for this particular tournament. We could have given us a good boost, but I do believe we're still learning, we're creeping, and with the kind of development presently ongoing, projects that have not been brought to life for the past 13 years are now being brought to life, and we've seen the renovation and putting of new turf around the country. I just hope the technical aspect we get it right, because if you don't get it right at the technical aspect, with all the pitches, you might not get the players that can compete with the bigger nations that what you see is happening in the Nations Cup today. But overall, it's been a wonderful tournament and a wonderful festivity for Africans as well. So thank you for having me here tonight, and hope by the time the tournament finishes, CAF does his review of everything. Sierra Leone will be able to lay hand on that review and see. And again, I think this is the time we also need to be thinking bigger. We can also bid to host African Cup of Nations. Yes, because that's also bring development. It also bring investment to the country. We should be thinking big now. Yeah.
We cannot think big to host the African Cup of Nations. Let me tell you why before you end that. Because first of all, we don't even have to start from scratch. We don't have any system of football that gives us the capacity to even host a Mana River Union tournament.
But sometimes I say you need to hold people accountability. Infantino was in Sierra Leone last year or 2 years ago, so he was in Sierra Leone. 3.5 years ago, he was in Sierra Leone. He met with the president. He said, look, I want to see Salone host Nations Cup. And he said, we can make it possible. So if he is the head of FIFA, he's making that kind of statement with the CAF president by him. I think it could have been our own responsibility as well to go after him and hold him to his word. To say, okay, look, this is what he said.
Infantino can say that. That's a political statement. But guess what? He cannot sanction it. That's a political statement. I mean, imagine how long it took CAF to choose Ivory Coast as the host nation for this particular AFCON. Now, imagine, why do you think Morocco is hosting the AFCON back-to-back? Now, imagine, why do you think the next AFCON is going to be taking place in Morocco? Now, imagine, why do you think the AFCON after Morocco, or the AFCON after Morocco, is going to be taking place in 2 East African countries?
It's infrastructure.
Thank you. So all I'm saying right now, we are not even 10th in line to host AFCON. What we should be thinking of right now, to be honest to you, I can feel bad where I scroll through my Facebook page and I see Salon football pages in the come up, and I don't see pitch with the thing they play. I feel bad as a Sierra Leonean, because now we are happy saying they renovate 4 AstroTurf pitch in Sierra Leone. At this age, what would they show? 4 AstroTurf pitch, and we want to brag about that. AstroTurf pitch, they're owned by schools in Ghana. Secondary schools, not even institution, not football club. They are owned by secondary schools in Ghana. There is no secondary school in Ghana that does not own an ASCOTUF pitch. Now we National League cannot even boast of a club. We get a stadium of 50 or 5,000 capacity. We're ready to host Nations Cup. This one. I know see Lex Salon, but Lex Salon pass you. And look, we will be
we need to think, we need to think big. Again, the problem does not lie only on the problem lies with us Sierra Leonean. A lot of people will get money, not see the need for investing in the country. And a lot of people, in fact, will not even value sports. Like for example, all the schools in Salon, they all get classic playing facilities and space where you go put pitches in it. But then concept of development not look at sports as a means to go generate income for them. So they left everything in a government for doing. So for me, this is where I also have problem with us, the citizen. Because if I'm a principal of, let's say, my school, Christ the King College or St. Andrews, I'm the principal there, I'll go to a bank and do a collateral business. I'll take money there, build a stadium, put a proper running track and everything. That will bring more income to the school instead of us waiting on subsidies from government. So I think it has to do with exposure. It has to do with understanding what generates income instead of, and again, I keep saying, Salon, we've constantly where we are because we always wait for stipends from government or donors. We as citizens are not thinking to say, you know what, we have banks, we have businesses that we can use as collateral to invest somewhere. Like now everybody's saying what Babadi did in Bo. It's huge investment. It's sacrifice, it's risks. You might not make the money now, but at the end of the day, nobody can take that development from Bo anymore. Nobody can take it from Babadi anymore. So you see, this is where we need to go now. We need to stop thinking of running out of Sierra Leone, coming to buy houses in Europe, buy big cars, and then go for holiday. Let's invest in these infrastructures that will give us money in turn tomorrow. I think that was my last statement tonight.
I know it might be the last statement, but it looks like we're dragging it into another discussion right now. But let me just talk a little bit about the Babadi situation of owning the Southern Arena as the Borough Rangers Football Club, right? Again, yes, the ownership of that particular institution is by an individual. It's not being shared. There are no shareholders that are responsible for the running of that. Yes, you can have shares that means you own the club, but at the same time, you have shares that you sell to people. So it becomes a company, an entity. So you don't have that monopoly rights to make X, Y, and Z decision. Because let's say, for example, Babadi does not want to run football anymore. He's tired and fed up about football. Okay, I'm not interested in Bo Rangers anymore. I don't want to be managing at Bo Rangers anymore. I quit football. What happens to the stadium?
Well, that's where people like us, if we're alive, that's where we come in, you and I. That's where we come in.
That is what I'm saying. Now, I'll give you an example of something that possibly I haven't spoken about for no reason. A few months ago, somebody approached me and said, oh, T-Boy, I want for me to get involved in some kind of football club within a salon, but una forgo one now. I'm like, really? Okay. Would they set up a Zoom meeting for look we discuss and see how would they get involved? I was highly interested because I have seen the market value and the business issue will be around this particular club. And it's a community club. And that community they ready for to not be in that club by any means necessary. So I asked a few questions, and that was the end of the discussion. The question they were asked, who do they run the club right now? Who are the administrators them? What's in the earn? Who do they run the books of the administration? And how then they make payments into which bank? Who do they run the bank? Who are they in charge? So I asked all these questions because I think it was relevant. Because on the business side of things, these are some of the things you put in place. I said, so when we come on this Zoom meeting, we forget all the issues that are so intact. That was the end of the discussion.
Yeah.
That
But
was the end of the discussion.
I can understand. Like for me, I've been there at the country. Of course, you said no, you left me there. I was in a meeting with an investment firm that serves as liaison within Sierra Leoneans and Europeans that are leaving Europe to go to invest in Sierra Leone. So this person is a European, but he serves as liaison, he serves as guarantor to the Europeans who are bringing in their money to say, look, if you bring your money into Sierra Leone, forget about what you're hearing. Nobody will take it, and you get the kind of investment or value for your investment. So I was in a meeting with him, and he was asking me, what can we do in Sierra Leone? I said, well, for me, if you ask me what can we do in Sierra Leone, let's invest in sport. And then he was like, what do you mean? Let's put stadiums across the country. He said, but looking at the game itself, the population, no, that's not what you look into. We love the game, but we don't have the facility. So let's say you go to Bo, you put one, you go to McKinney, you put one, you go to Cambia, you put one. At the end of the day, you might not make the huge sum like Old Trafford or Anfield is making, but you make money, you change the concept of people. People will be hiring it, you create job opportunity. But because the person does not see my side of what I'm seeing in sport, for him, he said, no, that will not be our investment.
That is not an investment for him. Because
for him, he said, that's not an investment. So I'm like, okay, but for me, that's investment.
Because it's not an immediate benefit for him.
Yeah.
So they don't look at the long-term benefit. They look at the short-term benefit. Okay, what are they putting me $10,000 per, where they make I get $20,000 the next day? That is what they look at. So I just totally agree with you. Say yes, it's down on us as Sierra Leoneans, but also it's not just down on us on Sierra Leoneans. It's down on Sierra Leoneans who possibly think they have the money, but don't know how to invest it. Because some of we Sierra Leoneans we get the investment skills that we will put into place for make we able to do X, Y, Z, and Z, and Z. But the one that we get the money, not ready for spender. But in the go spender party, we're totally irrelevant. And then the one for can't tell we say they get money. So I always made a statement to myself, there is no Sierra Leonean that I know that have money. Why? Because I haven't seen any Sierra Leonean that have money that is willing to spend $50,000 and not even think of making anything out of it in return until after 5, 6, or 7 years. We don't have that Sierra Leonean. Because the money all now $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. But anyway, that's a different discussion. We will get that discussion at the end of because we know
another day.
Another day.
Thank you.
So thank you very much. I don't know if anyone for say anything or say something to the video, then for say goodbye or anything. But if I don't get to see Femi back in next 1 minute, I will just round up and say, well, thank you guys for watching. It's been a very interesting evening with myself and Desmond. I want to say thank you to Desmond for giving up your time again. As always, when I call upon you, you never say no. You're always there to represent. And I know for sure we don't come out a very long way in this particular joint venture. It will definitely benefit us in the long run. I know so your involvement in sport has been great, and you continue to invest your time, your resources, your money, your energy, and everything. It not go in vain, because we don't forget that idea now. Say we begin and go benefit. No, we self get for day alive for see the benefits of what we do in Sierra Leone and make sure say it benefits we whilst we are alive, and we begin and come and benefit out of it. So thank you very much, Desmond, for that dedication. And God will make you go through everything you want to go through in life when it comes to sports and every other thing that we put you on par. But don't forget, I owe you a game on tennis, and whenever we catch up, my brother, racket is not a new thing to me.
It's here. Let me just show you some of the swings and how it's here.
I will tell you for sure that is something that is inclined in the family. The family that I came from is athleticism, is artistic, is creativity, is everything. So that I will tell you for sure. So I owe you a game on tennis. That's
no problem. No problem.
I get one man who always talk, say, you are catching at the beach, at the beach. I said, okay, no problem, I'm not going to the court. I invited him to one of the court within our locality. He do all kinds of things for beats me, enable for beats me. Say, I still owe you. I can't beat you, and that's the problem I did. So I wait for her, but if now they send you a game, not a challenge,
open challenge. Love all.
Not a challenge, they challenge you.
Love all.
I don't see how you don't play. I don't know how you don't play. I
I
said we
said,
need to have a game.
love all. Look at my racket, love all. I'm ready. Bring it on.
All right, no problem. I have something that I cannot talk about right now, but I owe you the
Okay,
interview.
man.
Thank
Thank
you
you
very much.
very much for having me. Have a lovely evening.
You're
And
welcome, sir.
enjoy Ivory Coast as well. Take care of yourself.
Surely will do. And the sky for manage myself as best as I can.
It's good.
Continuously,
It's good.
whether it's hot. I don't almost drink 2 bottles of water. That shortest
Not
period of
bad.
time. And I still get AC on, but I still
Good.
constantly dry. But
And
that's
thanks for the sacrifice as well. It's not easy. Not everybody get that passion the way you don't pick
I
now
know.
for the go to the
I know.
tournament. There.
Thank
Thank
you
you
very
as well.
much.
I mean, thank you very much for hosting us tonight. Till we meet again, guys.
There's
Bye.
Well, that was Desmond Spain. Desmond is in Holland, and I feel to say he don't deal with we for some time. He don't help and support this program when it comes to sports in particular, and he don't give all your support that we able for give in terms of coming on and joining us and discuss about football and sports. Femi, you have anything to say before round up?
1 minute, boy.
All right. Why is Femi dey look for wetin e dey say or e dey try for get im mic up and ready? I just want to make una know for say this program is not just coming on live. This is time around. We are working with partners in football, working in partners in various different things they would do. And one of the partners they would work with for this particular CAF tournament, na CAD HR. CAD HR is one of our local organizations that are based in London, and they do a lot of stuff in terms of creating platform for supporting Africans in the diaspora and Africans who are struggling with various basic necessities within the legal practice and also in other areas of humanitarian support to the community. So now CAR HR, they help and puts this particular program together. So we give them a shout out and let them continue for support and let them continue for do the good work we do in our community, because they've been very helpful to the community. They've been supporting a lot of stuff the way they happen at the community, and they deal with a lot of issues them concerning human rights. It is a law firm, but also a firm that deals with other social aspects of what's happening within our community. That's specifically based in Southwark, and they've been doing work all over Southwark in terms of legal advices for people that really struggle with immigration issues, people that really struggle with personal home issues, them with housing, really struggle with parental issues, them with family support. So that is what they do, and we're going to have more information about them as time goes on. And they are one of our supporting partners for this particular AFCON. So over to you, Femi. If you have anything else to say to wrap up this program, I'll be very happy to have you once more. Over to you.
Can you hear me, T-Boy?
Loud and clear, Mr. Palmer.
So I'd just like to thank you and Desmond, because I think you guys did an exceptional job. And thank all reviewers that really watch me. I want to thank you, but you in particular, T-Boy, because as Desmond say, it's not easy leaving your home and for go Panentia. So, and I keep reminding for some of you who they listen to, we're self-funded. So T-Boy's trip to Abidjan is funded solely by Sergio Media and T-Boy in particular. And you know, apart from the financial burden, then there is, you know, they're left in family for the last 3 weeks. I think, has it been 3 weeks, T-Boy? For the last 3 weeks, he gets another couple of weeks for go. So the sacrifice is all around, and not to just dine this. So not to just the physical money what they put inside it, but not the amount of business money back with T-Boy the lost. T-Boy is self-employed, so whilst he's over there, there's certain things that he's not gonna be able to do. So you know, please, una member we something and they will not can get things done right. and some people want to criticize, say, there's not millions of dollars, not even millions of leons. Before I say dollars, we did be away. It's everything coming out of our pocket. So we try to do the best we can for just give some of the information we think say we self go like for Yeri. So if we want Yeriam, we assume say una self go Yeriam or Siam. So we try to be in these places. So T-Boy, I'd like to thank you once again. I'll make you enjoy the semi-final, the final, and all the other work that we do around the scenes them, and then get home safely. We'll be waiting for you when you're back here.
Thank you very much, Femi, for that. Yes, of course, your support and everything around has been immensely great from the team, and I hope definitely it is going to be a continuity. I know it's going to be a challenge to family members and friends who are watching, thinking, you like for going at a particular tournament there, so what you going to do?
But T-Boy, as you say earlier on, you thank CAD HR because they're supporting this venture as well. So yes, when I say we're self-funded, and in this occasion we CAD HR they reach out to we and then say they are partner with you in this project. So we want to give them a big thank you because without them, again, we couldn't be here. So thank you, CAD HR.
All right, thank you very much, Femi. Of course, the family members, we didn't thank them much because they are always there. So then they make we for the people for do what they do. So yes, thumbs up to all the family members. They really did their support because definitely without your moral, financial, physical, emotional, and all the support we give you, we're not able for sit down for them. Boku talk so they can so. But now boku talk we need to go in vain because again, this particular AFCON has actually opened my eyes, and it has also opened collective network, and there's a huge amount of network where this place don't particularly open, and we hope and pray it becomes very fruitful and useful to we in the early future to come. So thanks once more for watching us, and thanks you for your support, and thanks for your comment, and for those that are supporting us, continue to support us. And the one that we watched me post on the Range Rover. I will continue to possibly talk about your messages and comments because the messages are still coming for me. This is not something we at the more nobody expects to create this kind of audience, but I think the audience of this particular thing just they grow. I don't know whether the Range Rover or the idea say the petrol on the Range Rover or with many petrol done within this possibility and then create this atmosphere. But it's all good because again, these are real human life stories that we always want to talk about. A little get people an experience because it might happen to anyone. It doesn't necessarily mean you're poor, careless, reckless, or anything. It might have been a minor error with something not in the control of the person who will drive that particular vehicle there at that particular point in time. But continue for watching, continue for subscribe to our page, continue for subscribe to our YouTube page and like our Facebook page. But don't forget, we are likely going to be running most of our shows on our website anytime soon because honestly, I am tired of restrictions of what to do, what not to do on Facebook and YouTube and all those places. So we're going to be focusing a little bit on our website because some of the contents of materials then will get, some of them are live events, some of them have copyright issues on them, and some thinking they enough time for me to broadcast them, it will get series of hiccups because we won't forget when I get a smooth watch, but it's practically impossible at some point because these are live coverages that we don't have control of the music that I played or few more other stuff. So thank you very much once more for watching, and we're definitely going to be with you guys soon for the semi-final and hopefully for the final as well. So until next time, thank you for the team and have a good evening. Bye-bye.